What a beautiful people. How you're doing? It is Time Capsule.
Now them more killing CB that you.
Levels done changed now. They no feet told me again. Now I'm 10 over 10.
It's all about beautiful throwback songs from your favorite artists that would definitely bring you sweet and amazing memories.
I start dancing my water to wine. You will come change them back to water.
Oh my God, this was the best thing Wonderful gave to me in the year 2009. Now born, Dimaga.
Views Channel, in partnership with DW, presents the 77%.
This is your platform
where we talk about everything that affects us, the youth.
Let's talk about
Depression,
illegal migration and human trafficking. Let's talk about sex.
I don't get it.
Why won't Africans speak openly about this topic?
Jesus.
Seriously.
We make up over 3/4 of Africa, the under 35s.
We are the 77%.
Africa's young generation. It is shaping the continent with innovations, political participation, and new ideas. But the 77% are facing many issues. Join our hosts as they engage you with thought-provoking topics.
we are a community and we help each other.
The 77% showing at 9 p.m. Sunday on Views Channel, Channel 108 on Star Times.
Creatives can now showcase their skill and talent to the world.
Growing up for me was what actually informed my choice of photography.
Role model, one of who is OC Ukeji. I love his interpretation of his roles.
Don't touch me, you demon.
He's an amazing guy. He's very slick, easygoing. I have a relationship with him, so I know that this guy, he means business.
Don't miss out as they get to reveal what makes them unique.
What makes me unique from other rappers? A kind of creativity, how I construct my lyrics.
Sharing their journey and why they are the next big thing you should look out for.
I should be a World Press Photo Award winner in 5 years.
We're working really hard to make sure 3 years time Body Black will be a brand already.
Hi guys, my name is James Jiboma. I'm an actor and commercial model. I am the next one you should look out for.
Next one, showing at 1:30 p.m. Wednesdays and Saturdays on Views Channel, Channel 108 on Star Time.
What a beautiful people. How you're doing? It is Time Capsule.
Now them all killing CB.you.
Levels done change now. They no feet told me again. Now I'm 10 over 10.
It's all about beautiful throwback songs from your favorite artists that would definitely bring you sweet and amazing memories.
Come change my water to wine. You want come change them back to water.
Oh my God, this was the best thing Wandiko gets to me in the year 2009. Now born, Dimaga.
Now born,
My name is Halima Olayinkashilola. I am a communications strategist. I am 28, going to be 29. My journey through life has been eventful. That's what I would say. It has had its good times. I've had my bad times, and we keep moving. I think I would flash back to 2011, 2012. I think I was in my second year in Unilag. First, learn love from your parents. So I really had a very dented view of what that was. So it was almost like there was a constant void that I was trying to fill with everything and anything. Friends, party, popularity, whatever it was, I just struggled, and it just seemed like it would never stop. But before 2011, let me actually track back to when I was in secondary school. So in secondary school, it seemed like I thought I had multiple personality disorder. I had read it from a book, and I didn't quite understand what it meant. But from everything, the way my life was panning out, it seemed like that's where I was at, because I was a very angry child. I didn't understand at the time that all of the experiences, the things I'd seen, I'd been molested, I had been abused physically, verbally, name it, everything. And I didn't understand that the effects of those things. I was going through the effects of those things, so I was always angry, and almost like I was looking for power. I wanted to take charge of my own life. I wanted my power back. I wanted my voice back. And obviously, as a 13-year-old, I was completely clueless of what I was going through emotionally and the psychological effects of the environment that I grew up in. But one thing that I knew for sure was it seemed like there were two people inside of me. Like I felt like a child that was caged in another human being. So there was this outer person that was extremely mean and very difficult to deal with, and just the hard head and just unnecessarily almost evil like person. And in my quiet times, it seemed like when I reach deep inside of me, there is this other person that is amazing and just wants to do good and just wants to love. So I constantly had that conflict. Who am I? What is happening? Why? I remember always asking myself this. I think this started about around SS1 thereabouts. I'm not sure. Who am I? Why am I mean? Why don't people like me? Obviously, I knew it was because I was mean, but why was I like that? My intentions were never like that. But how come every time I opened my mouth or did something, it came out evil? It came out mean. So I struggled with that. There was obviously nobody I could talk to. I didn't even understand what I was going through. Almost like they're diminishing your individuality, and they're making you feel small and think small and look small, and you're constantly in doubt of who you are and why you're here, and you don't feel beautiful, you don't feel brilliant. That was consistently the kinds of relationship I found myself in. I found myself in this relationship with this older guy. Obviously, I was looking for love, parent-like love, so I was attracted to older people, older guys, and there was always one ready to take advantage. When you have insecurities, there are always people who can sense it and are ready to pounce on it. And unfortunately, I met one, and we had a very strange relationship, I would say. It led to me getting pregnant. I don't know how I felt. It felt like, oh, this can't be happening, it can't be real. I didn't have anyone to talk to at the time. It was just him, what he said, and the way he wanted me to think, and the way he wanted me to see the situation and do things. We decided to take out the baby. At the time, I had had experience with rape, with molestation, with all sorts of things. So I think I had built up so many negative emotions that I didn't know what to, it all came up and I didn't know what to do. And I didn't understand them all the while, and now it was almost like I was feeling everything in one day or 1 week, and I just didn't want to go on with life. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't know who I was. And having to deal with religion, although I didn't grow up in a very strict religious family, but I had to just, it was very tough growing up. And everyone else thought that like you had this perfect life and you were just happy, and you know, what is the point of living? You know, why am I here? What is the point? I can't make anything out of myself. I keep making mistakes, you know, and it seems like I'm there for everybody, but nobody's looking back to check, hey, how's she doing? How's she really doing? You know, everybody just thinks you're fine, and it's an excuse. Even when they're talking to you, they're saying it's, oh, you're fine, oh, you're always good, you know. So you're just like, okay, what is the point? Would it be so bad if I'm not around anymore? He lied to me about who he was. He said that, I can't remember the details. I think he said that he had graduated from school, or he was in his final year. No, it was that he had graduated from school, he was working, but apparently he was expelled from school. So I think it was in the process of getting close that he opened up and was like, oh, you know, this is actually the real story. And this is someone that I think I was 17 at the time, and he was probably like 29, almost 30, probably 30. So in my head I'm like, there is no way I want to be with somebody that was expelled from school. What are you going to do with your life? What are you going to become? You know, that was my thinking at the time. You know, what did you do to the point where a school like Unilag that is free for adults would expel you? You know, so I wasn't interested, and I had been made up my mind to break up with him. So he went partying with his friends because I said I wasn't interested, because I had a plan to break up with him. So he went partying with his friends. He came back, he was tipsy, and he wanted to go back out again, but I told him like, oh, I needed to talk to him before he left. And then I told him that, oh, I'm no longer interested, blah 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 blah. And then he didn't say anything, and he left. I think he came back around 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and he was smelling of alcohol. He was drunk, and then the conversation started. You know, he said all sorts of things like, oh, you've been sleeping with other people, you're just lying to me that you're a virgin, blah 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 blah. And then he got violent, and I was scared. You know, it's funny, I can laugh about it now, because it actually took me 2 years of writing the story over and over again. All these years, it almost like he vanished from the surface of the earth, and I didn't see him until that day. So I think that was the day that I finally got that part of my life back. So at the points where you are feeling depression, it's a manifestation point, it's not a starting point. So it's very important that every single day we are very aware of how we feel, how we are mentally, and not take it lightly. It is not new, it is not strange. The best of us go through it. It's not a witch in the village chasing us. It's not a millennial problem. You know, it's just that maybe now we are finding our voice and we're speaking out. But it's something that has been, and it's something that probably will still be, because we operate in a very noisy world. So I would advise everybody to always pay attention to what is going on inside, because it really directs the path of your life. My name is Halima Olayinkashilola. I am a mental advocate. I am free, I am kind, I am loving, and I am unbroken.
Welcome back to the show. It's still the show Unbroken, where we discuss everything mental health. Today's topic is focused on sexual violence, issues, effects, and interventions. And like I said before, we won't be doing this alone. We have our guest in the house. She's the founder and head counselor at Attitude Development International, a school or an organization that is centered on counseling and counseling education in Africa. She has 16 years of quality experience working with couples, with individuals, as well as society. And she's no other than Dr. Timi Oyebode. Hi, Ma, how are you doing today?
Good.
How was the traffic? So sorry about it.
Wow. Well, that's
Lagos for you. Okay, so as our show tonight, we always ask the question, how is your mental health? Now, don't give us this copy and paste and stuff. Guys, how is your mental health?
My mental health. I would believe I'm fine and I'm doing great.
Okay.
And not just believe anyway, because apart from perception, it's also going in for periodic checkups.
Yes.
To be sure that we're fine, because sometimes you might assume, meanwhile you're not actually fine.
So on a scale of 1 to 10?
On a scale of 1 to 10, mental health, I should give myself a 9.
Wow.
With the traffic.
Wow. She literally told it. Okay. You're welcome again.
Thank you. You're welcome. We're excited to have you on the show.
Yes,
we know that at the end of the show, we can't just be like we started as, because we have tried to a lot of patients.
Yes, that's true.
So we saw the video of a lady called Olamma.
Yes.
She has been through different types of
sexual violence.
And then, so I wanted to, I'm throwing it to you too, man. As a survivor and an expert of sexual violence,
Yes.
I want you to talk to us. How does it feel? What it is like to have been to be a victim of sexual violence?
Wow. The reality is that you actually can't describe the feeling, okay, or what it's been like, except you go through it.
Okay.
And for each individual, it also plays out in different ways. So how it happened also could determine how the person felt about it.
Yes.
And one very funny thing also about sexual violence of whatever form or type or kind of it that the individual went through is the fact that you find people trying to interpret what went wrong or how did it go wrong, and that could inform them on the feelings or their own reaction to this experience. So in some cases we find people react in different ways. So they went through very similar experiences, but reactions comes in different ways. Now, in my own case, I was a victim of sexual violence, but also talking about rape, talking about child sexual abuse, and some other form of sexual violence actually. And for me, I think what went missing immediately was a loss of self-esteem. Of course, a lot of self-blaming. So you, at some point, I was suicidal, and then at some point you're wondering, hey, how did I find myself in this situation? And then sometimes also immediately you cannot, particularly if you cannot get support. Okay, so you began to do a lot of self-blaming.
Yes.
Okay, and unfortunately also we're in a system, a community whereby the woman or the victim gets blamed much more than the perpetrator.
Yes.
So all of that can begin to inform the feelings. Unlike someone else who went through it and then on the immediate was able to get support, was able to get reactions that were positive. Okay, such a person might go through first step, or the person might not react or not have some of the side effects that somebody else wouldn't have those supports would have. So that's why the reactions could differ based on the individual.
Wow. Okay, before she asks us other question, the phone lines are up. 0706 318 3892 is the number to call to get to us here on set, to ask your questions, make a contribution about the topic. Don't forget also our social media platforms are very available at Views Channel 108 on Twitter and Instagram, also Views Channel on Facebook and YouTube. Over to you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. That was insightful. So I want to ask this one. Maybe it's not scripted, but I just felt it comes from mind.
Yeah.
Can you tell us in 2 minutes your experience, your story from your side, from your view,
And also, maybe to add to it, what made you become a sex recovery therapist?
Oh, obviously, because of experience and they're realizing that one of the major things that deprives of living life to the fullest, a total man, the body, the spirit, and the soul, the totalness, is actually highly linked to our sexuality. So there's a strong connection between who we are and what we play out sexually. Okay, and then once we miss it that place, we miss it in that way, it affects something like a ripple effect on other areas of our life. So for me, my story, okay, I think it's just an average of maybe like the general story of many young women or many young girls in Nigeria or Africa generally, and that's being exposed to abuse at a very tender age. My first memory of sexual exposure was probably around the age of 7, and it was by an uncle of mine who lives in our house, and we started out with a game, actually. So we played a game together, and this game was supposed to be hugging, you know, and I think the only female, but it's a wrestling game actually. So he would, of course, he was bigger and older, so he was always quick to get me on the ground, and then he's lying on top of me, and then he's moving up and down there and telling the other people, who may be my siblings, to be counting, or sometimes he's doing counting. And I usually joke about this to say that I didn't actually know the wrestling match counts ends at 3. You know, until I became an adult actually, because he would keep counting. And so all I know was he would keep counting on top of me until it was probably ejaculated or he had his own feel. And then it's a game, and I'm told you shouldn't involve mom. Never let her know about this because it's her game and she might just interpret it somehow. So very early on, I was taught the principle of hiding stuff from my parents. Of course, my mom had a lot of challenges herself that would make every typical child think about to protect their parents also.
We have a caller. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the show, Unbroken. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, you still there?
Yes, hello.
Hi, good evening. What is your name and where are you calling from? Are you there, please? Oh, I think there's a caller. I'm so sorry about it. Oh, actually go.
Okay, so in summary, because I know I can't, is the fact that that was the beginning for me. Then of course, I lost my dad at some point, and I had a lot of emotional baggages with that. And living with family members here and then. This is something about abuse, like I always tell people, once it has been triggered, it becomes a cycle. So anywhere the girl gets into, it's like there's a sign on her head that says victim. Okay, and pedophiles are quick to pick it up. Like, oh yeah, this is a prey. So if the cycle continued actually, yes.
You know, there was a question I was planning to ask.
Okay.
Because research shows actually that when a child is abused before the age of 18, they have high tendencies of being raped again. Okay. When they are
Not even only as an adult. It's what happened again as a child, and again, and then by the time they go on into adulthood, the cycle continues, except the cycle is stopped.
But why does it happen that way?
Because the mind takes the information. You know, the child is actually in an information stage. That's before the age of 8, particularly the kind of abuses that happen before the age of 8.
I think you call it. We have to call it again. Hello, good evening. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, hello.
Hi, good evening.
I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
I can hear you, please. What is your name?
Okay, so the thing is, I'm really so happy with Olamma story. I know it feels like being caught in life. I know it feels like being abused. I can share that story, and I'm really touched by that story. But the problem is, I can't really hear you guys loud. Just hearing you thinking.
Okay. All right, thank you very much for that feedback. Please, what is your name? You didn't get it.
Can you hear me though?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Okay, yes, you can. So, the thing is, I just pray to get better. Some of us are giving up on life. Like me, I'm totally giving up. I'm 40 years right now. Like, she has hope. I don't even have any hope anymore. I don't feel like I do have anything. I don't feel like there's this connection with life anymore. And it's just breaking me up. I wish I well. I've been following your program for a while. And I wish her well. I just wish everyone was out there. For me, I don't think. I'm just kind of broken. I've been through so much. The program is not broken, but I'm actually broken.
Well, you don't need to be broken because you are unbroken no matter the situation. So please, what is your name? We didn't get it. Please, your name.
I didn't hear you. I didn't know what you said.
I asked of your name, please.
Okay, should I call the call and come back on this TV show because I can't hear you from here. It's low.
Okay. Thank you very much for that feedback. Thank you so much for the call. We really do appreciate it. So it looks like he said he's having difficulty now being unbroken. All right. It's funny, right? It's ironic. But this is the situation of people that are going through. Not everyone has that capacity to actually tell their story like Halima and say, you know what, this is how my story is, or even you telling your story now. So it's I really hope for the best. Now, you need to also ask this question. I think you should ask this question to Fumi. For me, you're also a psychologist. I know you meet people every day, you interact with them. Now, why do you think this issue is not receding, it's not going down? We have the story of Uwa, justice for Uwa, that's what happened, same sexual violence. We have the story of Oluwa Toyin, Saliu, the American lady who was sexually abused yet murdered over there during the Black Lives Matter movement. So why exactly is the issue? Why is it not going down?
Yes, there are many reasons why we are having increase in these issues. Because we have global statistics from UN as well,
like flying.
So there are many reasons why we could have this spike in the situation. But I will talk about wrong orientation about sexuality. You know, there's this thought that was given culturally to people that male are superior to female.
Yes.
And if a child grows up that way, there's a way they begin to see female gender as some inferior set of people. They need to exert their power over. So I feel that there has to be proper orientation of right sexuality. In families, in schools, and all that. There has to be awareness. We have to keep creating the awareness that this is a punishable crime. You can't go scot-free. You know, a lot of people are swearing this issue again and again under the carpet. That even people that are victims are afraid to come out. So the perpetrator knows about this. People are not really. So they do it and they felt they should. So I think awareness has to be on the part of the male and female speaking up. And at the same time, it's punishable. We shouldn't say, they are male, that's how male do. No. Punishable under the law. Things should be done duly. And at the same time, I believe hurting people hurt people. A lot of people have been molested, they didn't have opportunity of expressing themselves, and the way they do it, they pay it forward. They carry it forward. They don't know how to do, they just keep on doing it. So I think there are many more reasons, but I think for this, we and I think social media too contribute. People are viewing a lot of X-rated
content all over there.
Exciting them and making them to act in terrible ways. So all these reasons culminated together is bringing this spike in all of these issues. That's why we're here to create the awareness, we bring the experts to talk to people and all that.
All right, thank you so much for me. So, rape. We all know that sexual violence, whenever you hear that word, sexual violence, the first thing that comes to mind is rape. But I believe there are other sexual violence.
Yeah.
Okay, please share them with us.
Child sexual abuse, for example, is also sexual violence. Even intimate sexual partners. Yes, you could be married to someone and you could actually be sexually violent to the person.
Please, is that by law?
Yes, because the key thing about sex is that it has to be consensual.
Yes.
So, and being in the context of marriage or being partners, agreed partners, does not give the consent to sex. Okay, so you find this dilemma, particularly when a man feels that, oh yes, since I've paid your buy price, I can have you anytime I want you.
Yes.
No. That becomes violence once the person says no, and then you insist and forcefully have your way. Or even in some cases, because we've had cases where it's not by force, but by coercion, okay, or by threat. Okay, so if you don't do it, this is what I'm going to take away from you, something like that. So the person reluctantly agrees. That's violence. That's violation. Okay, so it's not just I raped someone on the road. No. And it's so sad now that talking about rape, you begin to see another perspective, because it's not even just strangers that rape people, relatives, family members, friends. Rapes. Okay, a young lady shared that story with me, and this was a friend of someone she knew. They were both sourcing for a house to get their flat, and then moving from one apartment to the other in an empty apartment that they have walked into to go and check if you like this flat or not. The guy raped that there in the same Lagos.
Friend.
So it's not limited. The scope is actually very broad. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Right now we're going on a break, but when we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Don't forget, this is Unbroken.
Views Channel, in partnership with DW, presents the 77%.
This is your platform
where we talk about everything that affects us, the youth.
Let's talk about
Depression,
illegal migration and human trafficking. Let's talk about sex.
I don't get it.
Why won't Africans speak openly about this topic?
Jesus.
Seriously.
We make up over 3/4 of Africa, the under 35s.
We are the 77%.
Africa's young generation. It is shaping the continent with innovations, political participation, and new ideas. But the 77% are facing many issues. Join our hosts as they engage you with thought-provoking topics.
We are a community and we help each other.
The 77% showing at 9 p.m. Sunday on Views Channel, Channel 108 on Star Times.
Welcome back. It is still the show Unbroken, where we discuss everything mental health. The topic has been sexual violence, issues, effects, and interventions. Yes, we have in the house Dr. Timi Oyebode, my cousin. Yes, that's she, and she's doing incredibly well answering all our questions. Don't forget that you can still call us 0706-318-3892 is the number to call, and our social media platforms are still available for your questions at Views Channel 108 on Twitter and Instagram, Views Channel on Facebook and duty. So I need to ask this question because it's sometimes also bothering me. Now, in the outside part of the world, there is a particular law that allows them to actually give up their children at a tender age to allergies as wives. Now, why is that also? Because generally it's called sexual abuse. Now, why is that sexual abuse? Since it's a consent from the parents handing over the child to.
Okay. Last I know that is not a law that stands in Nigeria, whether in the south, in the west, or in the north.
Yeah.
So officially, and that's why you say that what you probably hear of now, possibly, is I think it's like my daughter at 12-year-old, but she's going to still stay with me. So they wait till 18 before taking over. That's those ones that knows the law will come for them, the big guys amongst them. But of course, amongst the illiterate and then the conservative ones amongst them, we might still find out a lot of all this going on. But that's cultural. And I believe there are so many NGOs over there trying to work on that, raise awareness with the parents, let them understand the dangers, what we call a lot of gender-based violence, that comes because the child is still a child, and then you're putting into the space of being a woman, being a married woman, with a lot of responsibility, a lot of sexual responsibility, sex, even the place, the sexual organs, the vagina, the penis, they are not well developed as at that age to engage in sexual activities. So a lot of sexual traumas can come from that experience alone. And that's one of the reasons why it's been advocated that the women should be allowed to at least be of legal age before sexual contact. And that's why sometimes I even tell young guys who care to listen, even if they don't care to listen, to know that even having sex with someone below the age of 18 it's a crime. Yes, because it's still valid whether she's your girlfriend or not.
Let me ask. What should such a child do to sing? It's really out. They're giving her a heart already.
At that point, anybody who had undergone sexual violence or any kind of sexual violation against their will, the most important thing, first of all, is to find the leverage to speak out. Okay, they must be able to speak out. And I always say this, you might talk to someone and they didn't help, as in no help came from this. Don't stop talking. I spoke to a couple of people when I was younger, reporting my abuse, and they were not able to do anything. But I kept speaking out until somebody had to listen. So it might take a while, but someone will at the end of the day. So the first important thing is, the person who sexually abused you wants to possess you, wants to control you. Okay, and wants to silence you. That's the most important thing. So don't give them that total power. They might have violated your physical body, but don't let them take your voice. Okay, that's one. The next most important thing to also consider after being able to speak out is to be able to separate what happened to you from you. Okay, so the person stole, it's just like someone stealing your handbag. Someone took something from you, okay, but you are still the owner. It still belongs to you. And so you must be able to understand who is the criminal, who are not the criminal. Because in many cases of sexual violence or violation, the victim ends up feeling a lot of guilt. Oh, I caused it. Community might make you feel that you caused it. Society, religion, so many things can point it to you, but you need to be able to say to yourself, no, this is not my fault. I am not at fault. The abuser, the perpetrator is the wrong person here, not me. Once you are also able to do that, that helps your mental health, that helps you to be in control and be able to fight this fight, because it's an internal battle actually. Now, another thing that is important when you are going through the process of recovery is, if possible, get into therapy. When you get into therapy, what happens is you're able to analyze what happened, and then you're given tips and strategies to hold you as you scale through and heal. Because healing is key. Once you can heal, you would be able to see things in a much better perspective and in a better way. So I would always recommend those immediate tips. Don't keep quiet about it. Talk about it. And if it just happens, as maybe maybe we're talking about what had to go through. But if it's something fresh, you just happen to be raped, please, if possible, also get into the hospital as quick as you can. Make police reports, which is always key because evidence of rape and violation is taken almost immediately happens.
Okay.
So if the longer before you get those evidences, the more we cannot prove in court that anything happened to you. Okay, so it's always key that you are able to make a report, a formal report. You might, yes, I know people talk about the police and say, you can't report the Nigerian police. I know, okay? But whatever, if you can't even talk to the police, talk to somebody you trust. Report to somebody who can take up the issue for you. And of course, the hospital is needed. Why do you need the hospital? So that you don't have another trauma, unwanted pregnancy. Because that then goes on again into another set of pain, another issue. Some people go on to abortion, because of all of this dilemma. So I would always say, please love you. Whoever violated you is the one who has a problem, not you.
No, not you. Awesome. That has been really insightful. But right now we're going on another break. But when you come back, Fumi is going to help share with us some tips on how to handle sexual violence for those who have probably been victims of it. Let's stay tuned.
Creatives can now showcase their skill and talent to the world.
Growing up for me was what actually informed my choice of photography.
Role model, one of who is Osi Ukeji. I love his interpretation of his roles.
Don't touch me, you demon!
He's an amazing guy. He's very slick, easygoing. I have a relationship with him, so I know that this guy, he means business.
Don't miss out as they get to reveal what makes them unique.
What makes me unique from other rappers? A kind of creativity, how I construct my lyrics.
Sharing their journey and why they are the next big thing you should look out for.
I should be a World Prosperous Award winner in 5 years.
We're working really hard to make sure 3 years time Body Black will be a brand already.
Hi guys, my name is James Jiboma. I'm an actor and commercial model. I am the next one you should look out for.
Next one, showing at 1:30 p.m. Wednesdays and Saturdays on Fuse Channel, Channel 108 on Star Time.
Wow, it's yet another time on this segment, and I'm so excited to be here as usual because I know this is where we take things down for us to employ it as time goes by. Okay, today I'll be sharing with us top tips on how to be mentally healthy in sexual violence. But see, the part I'm taking today is that all of us are victims. Because violence to one is violence to all of us. So I'm going to be addressing the issue of attitude of the society. How can we support it to people who are victims of sexual violence? Okay, so we go. Hope you're ready for me. Your phone, your pen, you have to write now. So tip number one says create or promote social norms that says no to sexual violence. Can you imagine a group whereby it is only male, young and old, with t-shirts of no to violence, to sexual violence, and they were trained and they are moving around from place to place? Don't you think it's going to be attractive? It will attract a lot. Why you see people doing rally? Many times it's female. They have some males in between them. But let's promote this culture whereby everybody is speaking out that sexual violence is wrong. And we see the impact on the society. Teach skills. Tip number 2 says teach skills. Relationship. I remember when we were very young, they say, hey, don't follow man. If you follow man, you will be pregnant. But now this is the time to teach skills how to date correctly. This is the time to teach on healthy sexuality. Sperm and egg forms a human being. Sperm is not more important than the egg. So male, female, they are both important in the society. None is more powerful. It's when we say, he's a male, no, don't touch him. That's when people go about feeling that they can subsume every other person. They can do anything and nothing will happen. Let us teach correctly about sexuality, healthy sexuality. So provide opportunities to empower. Empower female gender. Not against the male gender, but let there be strength, because many a time poverty, people looking for what is not lost, following after men makes people subject of sexual violence. So let us empower our female child to occupy the role of leadership. Let us empower them to be economically stable, those who are women. And now we see that it will impact on the general well-being of the fabric of the society as against sexual violence. So let's create protective environment. Do you know a lot of ease that CCTV has helped some people to? Some issue will never ever be found out if not for CCTV. So some things may seem expensive, but it will save us a lot of stress and it will help us to know the truth. So as much as possible, let's equip our schools, our homes with devices that will even make the perpetrator knows that we can't do this, we will be caught. So let us create, and when offense is carried out, bullying, let it be corrected. Let people be corrected duly. It is very, very important. So another thing I want to share is support victim. Support victim. Let there be a victim-centered place where people can go and talk about what has happened to them without being talked down, without being saying they're lying. Let there be a place like that, and let there be treatment. So I've said this. Remember, we are all victims. Injustice to one person is injustice to all of us. We have to work at the fabric of the society because this menace is eating at it. In case you are in need of mental health support, always remember we are here for you at Olamma Cares Foundation. So send a mail to us. Don't say I'm lost. There is help here. Send an email to support@olammacares.com, or you can call us on our phone numbers 070 63 18 3892. And you can reach out to us across all our social media platforms at olammacares.com. Till I come your way again, remember, your mental health is your responsibility.
It has been so much incredible. Thank you for those tips. Really, when I was reading them out, I was just picturing a lot of things. Like, I don't actually see it much here, but just the way the female child is also affected sexually, the male child also is the time when the male child is also violated sexually. So indeed, let's teach skills. Let's teach our children that indeed they are not tools for sexual pleasure, but they are women and men of value. This is we're wrapping up the show. So I'd like to ask, give us some kind words, some parting words on those that are actually going through situations concerning sexual violence. How should they handle it? Give them a parting words.
To everyone who might be going through any form of sexual violation, maybe you have been through before or you're presently going through it. I want you to know that you are not alone. I want you to know that you are not happening to you alone. And I want you to understand that there is help available for you. And just like she said, you just need to reach out. Put the email there, the social contact, the social media. Just reach out. A lot of people are ready to hold your hands and walk you through the journey of healing. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We are here. We want to hold your hands. All right, thank you so much for being a part of today's show. It has been incredible learning about sexual violence, the issues, effects, as well as the interventions. But don't forget that this conversation continues across our social media platforms at Views Channel 108 on Twitter and Instagram, also Views Channel on Facebook and YouTube. Over to you.
So
I will have to say it again that you are in need of any support at all. Yes, in need of any professional help. As regards your mental health, don't hesitate at no cost to reach out to us. Yes, at olammacares.com. Yes, we are here for you. Just send an email, make a phone call, reach out to us across all our social media, and then you will receive the help that is necessary.
That is necessary. And from here to become your way next time, I remain your host, Joy Nikoro, and Louis Tyler. And don't forget, you are unbroken.
Views Channel, in partnership with DW, presents the 77%.
This is your platform
where we talk about everything that affects us, the youth.
Let's talk about
Depression,
illegal migration and human trafficking. Let's talk about sex.
I don't get it.
Why won't Africans speak openly about this topic?
Jesus.
Seriously.
We make up over 3/4 of Africa, the under 35s.
We are the 77%.